What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Ghislaine Maxwell video. And as I mentioned in my last video, she's now in a perfect position to bargain. Everyone's clamoring to talk to her. The DOJ wants to talk to her. Congress wants to talk to her. What could they possibly want? Just 2 weeks ago, they told us that they learned everything that there was to know, and there was no client list. Well, after everyone was outraged because we've been hearing about this client list for so many years, it was so hyped up to all of a sudden say, oh, there was no client list. It's over. There's nothing to know. Obviously, they're not going for it. People are outraged. They want to know what's going on. So they're scrambling because they have to find somewhere to quell these conspiracies. And where else are they going to go? The only other person that was at the center of this case, which is Ghislaine Maxwell. And they're going to her under the guise that there's new information. But you guys just told us, like I said 2 weeks ago, that there was nothing new to learn. So what could have possibly developed within 2 weeks that you felt like, oh, we need to go to Ghislaine? You want to go to Ghislaine because you want her to confirm, oh yeah, there was no client list, so that the public can move on from this Epstein file drama. Well, if you're Ghislaine in that situation, there's a few things that they can do to incentivize you wanting to talk to them and you wanting to cooperate. So she has a 20-year sentence. The first thing that they could do, they could put in what's called a Rule 35. And that's basically a request to a federal judge to lower someone's sentence in exchange for them complying with the government. And then Trump could pardon her, which would forgive her convictions. Or Trump could commute her sentence, which would just end her sentence. Now, obviously, it would behoove her to pick one of the latter two options that I mentioned. Because considering how bad they need her to confirm that there was no client list, there's no way that I would take, oh, yeah, we'll knock 5 years off your sentence. There's no way I would take that Rule 35. So, in my opinion, that's the worst option on the list. So I wouldn't take that. And then you have the pardon or the commuting of the sentence. I would not take the commuting of the sentence because that you just end your sentence. It doesn't restore your rights or anything like that. And the public doesn't really view it favorably. If you get a full pardon from the president, that restores all of your rights and the public looks very favorably on it. So, yeah, that restores all your rights. That I'm talking about your voting rights, your GUN rights, all of those. So, which one should she take? Well, if it were me, I would take the fourth option. That's not on this list. But in her position, it's quite feasible. And that option is I would request for the indictment to be dismissed. And I know you guys are thinking, get the indictment dismissed. They've already convicted her on the charges. Yeah, this is an option. Believe it or not, this is an option. The prosecutor can dismiss the indictment, and that would mean her charges would go away because even with the pardon, those charges are still there. You get your rights back, but those charges are still on your record. If they dismiss the indictment, those charges are gone. It's like it never happened. And the best part of all of this is they don't have to have any explanation of why they did it other than it was for the interest of justice. So everyone wins. Everyone wins. Ghislaine says there was no list. What else can they say? The only other person that was at the center of this case says that there's no client list. We've got to believe her. And now we have dismissed the indictment in the interest of justice, and everyone moves on with their life. And if I'm Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm getting the heck up out of the US and I'm going back to my home country. I mean, I'm private jetting out of here on their dime because, like I said, the ball is in her court. They need her. They need her. This was the best news that could have ever happened for Ghislaine Maxwell. So if she doesn't fumble that ball, I predict that one way or another, she'll be walking out of prison very shortly. More than likely, she's probably going to be commuted because she wants to get out. That's her main focus, is to get out of there. And that would be the least amount of controversy for Trump if he commutes the sentence. Because if he gives her a pardon, I don't think, that won't look very good for him. So, more than likely, she'll probably get her sentence commuted. But, like I said, if I were her, I would push for that indictment to be dismissed. But you guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. What do you think will happen? Do you guys think that this is Ghislaine's ticket out of prison? You guys let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I will be keeping an eye on this, and I will be back with more updates. So lock in with me, subscribe, like this video if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching.